Hello and welcome back to the AE86 Preservation Society. Today we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to install a rear seat cover. So the best way to start on this rear seat cover is to start with it inside out. And like most other seat covers, you're going to want to flip it over and check and make sure that all of your listing wires are intact and in place. None of them are poking out or anything like that, so that's what I'm doing here really quick. And the next step we are going to do is we're just going to set it on the seat itself. We're going to fold one side back and we're going to tuck the seatbelt sleeves into the seatbelt pockets. And do that on the other side as well. This just keeps everything out of the way and makes it a little easier for when we get to the installation point. So I wanted to just post a picture up really quick of just the bare foam, and you can see along these crevices that you've got little pockets, and this is the spot exactly where your hog rings are going to go. So just take note of it. So feel free to pause this at any time and take a look at this listing order chart, and it's just a brief rundown of where to start and where to go next and where to finish on the top side of the seat cover. So with hog ring pliers in hand, we are going to get started with the listing closest to the seatbelt pocket. The easiest way to do this is fold the seat cover back and install 2 hog rings on each side of that little listing wire. So this seat cover is identical from left to right. So whatever we do on the left side, we're going to do on the right side. And we're going to go back and forth between the seat cover installation just to make sure everything lines up as it should. So now we've rotated the seat around, and we're going to start at in the center of this back listing wire. So we want to find the wire itself. We're going to hook onto the wire of the listing and then the wire in the foam. And there's just 3 hog rings that go on this back side. It's always a good idea to do a little jiggle after you have secured this to make sure that you caught that foam wire. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the next side. So now that we've taken care of that, we're going to put the seat cover over these 2 seat hooks that connect to the frame. Next, we're going to go ahead and move to the front listing wires of the pleated section. Start in the middle, one on the right, one on the left, and do the same on the other side. Alright, now we're moving on to the sides. We're going to install just 2 hog rings here. We've got 2 little circles, if you guys haven't noticed, embedded in the foam, kind of showing you where these hog rings should be going. So in the kit, you will have 2 labeled listing wires, one for the front, one for the back. The one for the front is a bit longer, so we'll go ahead and start with that. It doesn't have to be 100% straight as an arrow, but we want it to be roughly straight so it's a little easier. So then we'll move on to the back listing wire. Go ahead and straighten it out a little bit for ease of feeding it through that rear channel. And make sure to get it hooked on as well. And we're ready to move on to the next portion where we're going to fit the corners and work our way to the back corner. and do the same on the other side. And at this point, the top of the cover is pretty much done, and we're ready to flip the seat over and start working on the bottom side. And like most everything else on seats, we're going to start on the center and work our way out. So occasionally you will see me put my hand on the frame and foam and press it down, and when I do that I'm creating space, so I'm not pulling so hard on the vinyl. I'm compressing that foam, clamping a hog ring on, and then letting go. So the next thing we need to do is make sure that we don't entrap the clips for removing the seat. So we need to make sure and pull those out and get the seat cover behind it. And we'll put a hog ring on each side of the clip on the left and the right side, passenger and driver. And my apologies, the star of the show is apparently my shoulder, which gets in the way whenever I am doing any sort of filming. But we're just going to put a couple of hog rings on the sides of the seat. And what I'm doing is I'm getting the finned area, the finned part of the piping down at the bottom, and hooking that over the metal wire of the frame. And that kind of gives it a nice clean look. Alright, we're going to flip the seat around. This is a home stretch. We're going to go ahead and secure the last flap portion. So right here I want to show how the seat pockets provide tension in a downward force to flatten that horizontal pleat, and I'm just showing how you can adjust that. So as I secure these seat pockets, I'm checking on the underside and putting some tension on, and checking again before I secure them into place to make sure I get that pleat exactly where I want it to be. And I do that on both sides, constantly checking to make sure that I get the proper tension on there. So in the center wire, you're actually going to be connecting two of these seat pocket flaps, one on each side, are going to connect to this, one on top of the other. Again, checking, making sure I've got some decent tension on there, and hog ring that into place. And we are on the home stretch. Last one, we can flip it over, admire our work. I hope you guys have found this helpful. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section, and I will do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. But yeah, thank you again for stopping by. Feel free to check me out on Instagram. That's where you can find my most up-to-date stuff. So we'll see you next time. Thanks.